All right. Good evening, good afternoon, everybody. And I hope we all have a productive day and no more stress. So, concerning my own presentation, then I will be covering about mastering productivity skills. How can we master productivity skills and how can we make use of it? So, the first point is achieve more in less time. Now, that's, let me say, one of the major key rules when we have a productivity skills in place, we can achieve more in less time. Like in less, okay, let me say using as an example of a factory, uh, a factory producing 50 megawatts in 1 hour compare to a factory producing 30 megawatts in 10 hours. So with if there's productivity skills, we can achieve more in less than a little time. Then the introduction to productivity. What do we mean by productivity? Productivity is measured of effectively and of efficiency and effect of a person. Is either a person, a team, an organization, or a system that can complete tasks and produce results. In a normal layman language, as we all know it, a normal productivity skill, we say output divided by input, which is the output is what you produce. That's the maybe the task completed or the services that you rendered divided by the input, which is the resources that you used. That is the time, the four M's of management that you use: the time, the effort, and the money, the machine, and everything. Then the last point says productivity is never an incident. Productivity is never an incident in an organization, but is what we need to prioritize as a team, as an individual, to have a productive and effective work balance. So the key point we are going to look on this productivity skill is: number one is time management, number two is goal settings, three is prioritization, then number four is focus and concentration. So the first one is time management technique under productivity skills. We have number one is a pono, ponodromo techniques. This technique is like working in a kind of a pace or a faster environment that you have to, fast thinking and move effectively with the workforce depending on the type of environment that we find ourselves in terms of the productivity skills. Then the sexual metrics. I can say this is the type of time management techniques that most of these organizations of nowadays we do um, we do use, but it's in terms of proving more of time management, increasing productivity, then time blocking. This time blocking is let me use an example of maybe what and let me say you are supposed to complete a task for a day. Why can't us just like concentrate for, let me say, for a good 3 to 4 hours and complete that task at once? That's time blocking. Then avoiding procrastination. This is these techniques is not really used by most, let me say by most of individual, And that is the main reason why there is low productivity and low outcome. Because what you are supposed to do in 1 hour, you can tend to do it in 3 hours if someone is a type of person that do procrastinate. So with that, the time management will be very slow and will not be inadequate. But if you have the time management techniques of avoiding procrastination, the tasks that can take you 5 to 6 hours, you can finish up that task within 2 to 3 hours if there is a full-minded and no procrastinating on such task. Then we have second one, smart goals. By setting a smart goal for yourself, maybe for the team or an organization, the number one is be specific. If you are really specific about, okay, this is what our goal is, this is what we want to achieve, this is what we are aiming, then your product, the alertness of you giving it to that, your productivity will be very high in terms of putting all the resources that you needed to achieve that goal. You know. Then number two is measurable. Measure the goal that you have already been set in a specific way. Once you measure the goal, then you can measure the time accuracy at which you can use to achieve, that specific goal. For example, maybe okay, in the next 10 to 5 months, you want to achieve 1,000 students. Then once we measure it, we measure the time management, we measure the resources, the input and output that is going to be needed in such to achieve that set of goals. Then achievables. Then this achievable is like maybe you set 10 goals for the organization. Then out of the 10, we have already achieved 5 or 4. So it's part of being smart and being measured and how the productivity is being going. And you can use achievable to even to measure your productivity level too as well. Then relevant. You have to you're consistent in your goal, consistent in your productivity, consistent in terms of the the time management you are using in order for you to follow the flow of that productivity skills and the level at which the pace of the work is going. Then time bound. That time bound is just basically on you timing yourself, just like as I said earlier, in terms of being specific. The time bound is like giving a specific time range. The next 10 to 15 months, you want to achieve 20,000 students to the organization. Then with that, you can now mention, okay, we are giving ourselves this so particular range, this particular time to achieve it. Then example of a smart goal, just like the one I've stated earlier in achieving specific goal at which in terms of the productivity level. Then prioritization strategy. There is this is a management that we call ABCD method. ABCD method is just like a follow step by step method. In terms of maybe you want to let me say you want to turn a prospect to a client. In terms of what do you need to do first, by putting on an advertisement, this is what we offer. It is a step by step meeting your client, telling them this is what we offer, then tell them about the benefit and everything. Once they apply, we put them through this process till they become a client, a fully client. So that is a typical example of ABCD method in management in terms of productivity skills. 80 to 20 rules. These 80 to 20, 80 divided by 20 rules is majorly used in a kind of a big organization in terms of strategy. This 80 to 20 rules, it really helps when you have a bigger, large scales of, let me say, of goals or a bigger aim of um, demands to meet. Let me say, if we are to use in this our organization, if we are to use 80 by 20 rule, it will be very effective, but it might have a side effect in terms of time pacing, and because we are just let me say we are few in numbers, 80 to 20 rules really work well in a kind of a large organization. And it also helps in productivity too as well. There is no how you're using 80 to 20 rules in an organization. The productivity level is expected to be very high because at the pace at which the 80 to 40 rules do works. And then urgent and important metrics. The urgent and important metric strategy depends on how urgent you want, let me say, a specific um, or you want to treat a specific information. For example, now this cybersecurity um, cybersecurity masterclass. If you want to treat it in an urgent way, we might in an urgent way to increase the productivity. We have to do it in a very fast and a peaceful way, like rush all these ABCD metrics method too, but in a kind of a strategy that which it will fasten the pace at which people are registering for that program. But if it is an important matrix is more of like a long time resourceful awareness in terms of management and in terms of productivity level. Although it really works too as well in terms of the importance level, because letting them know that this particular product is being needed or show them the benefit, but it works in a kind of a long range method. It's a kind of a long range statistics. Maybe as you are putting awareness for master class, putting awareness for digital learning, the awareness might not really start working now, but it's of use for them to know the importance of it. This is a kind of the importance metrics strategy. It do work in a long run. But the urgent one is like this July, we are doing a July master class and we start next week. Let's pull all effort and let's pull all hard so that people can register before that coming week. So once the coming week starts, such campaign can end. So, but that such campaign can end. So the urgent one is quite different from versus the important strategy. Then tips for daily planning. There is this one I post on my status yesterday. I just made up of that, like daily tips on what to know about the products that we are selling is a part of the strategy too. Because if you are putting up a daily tips on maybe learn the digital skills, how to maximize your time, how to maximize your workspace, what are the benefits from learning cybersecurity. Those daily tips also helps in strategies. Once there's more daily tips on what to do and what to do, and this is what to do. From there, you can also pull up a strategy on that at which it will also increase the productivity of such products too as well. Then eliminating distractions. We have common distractions like maybe um, common distractions like when you are supposed to work on a task, you might be distracted by maybe your siblings or gisting, stuff like that. So tasks that are supposed to take you like 1 hour, 2 hours might probably take up to like 5 or a day work. Then app limit distraction. App limit distraction is mostly happens to me, let me say those who are used to phones, um, social media and stuff like that. So people tends to sit, especially this TikTok of the issue. People, let me say most 80% of this Gen Z generation that we are now, we tends to be using most of our time on social media, and which is a kind of distracting work attention at times. Then the third one is creating a productivity workplace. Once you have a productivity workplace, you create that for yourself. There is no how distraction can come in. For example, maybe you set a limit for yourself. Okay, let me say 9 to 9 to 12 will be for my working hour. Then maybe from my 12 to 3 might be for maybe lunch and other excitement things. Then once is maybe 4 to 5, then I'll round up, conclude whatever I'm doing. So with that effective and timing yourself on the work and the tasks that you have been given, you have already created a workspace at which you have already used to work for yourself, and yes, it will be very, very productive. Then tools for productivity. Tools for productivity, we have digital, we have Trello, Notion, Google Calendar. The physical one, we have whiteboard, we have planners, and we have all these table stickers that you can write um, all these my plan for today, what to do, what I'm expected to do, stuff like that. Then your daily routine and habit. Your daily routine, for some, daily routine is okay. Step out from the bed, you know, freshen up, open system, see what is, get you ready for meeting and everything. And if it's the one, okay, you have a place to go, set up yourself, time yourself, then you know everybody has a different daily routine that we do, but the daily routine must be very, very productive and work well with your task. Then productivity myths, multitasking apps. For example, if you are all this kind of a person that used to multitask, your productivity level and the productivity IQ will be very, very high in terms of the way you think, the way you minimize and maximize your time limit. It also helps in productivity level. Then being busy equals to being productive. This aspect of being busy equals to productive. It tends to be an argument stuff, but me, I don't really believe in being busy. Being busy in doing what depends on what you are really doing, or let me say on the particular task. You can say, okay, being busy on a task, being busy on maybe on a schedule that can lead to your productivity level. Then more hours, more out. Yes, on this aspect, more hours, for example, if you spend more hours on maybe creating a strategy, creating a profound solution to a particular problem or to a particular um, output, it brings more, more effective output. From there, you can even raise more than 5 to maybe 3 strategies that can really work out for such particular program. Then debunking myth. That debunking myth is just like is more of okay, like I know I can do this, I know I can do that, but let me just leave it. Most people in my own times language, I call it fallacy. Most people will be saying, it's a rumor, it's a this. If you do this, if you do that, it might not work. Uh, okay, let me do it this way, do it that way. Most people can say, okay, if I do it that way, it might not work. But if you are kind of people that usually debunk a myth concerning a particular project, concerning a particular task, I'm very sure the productivity level you can really, okay, you can really get it because okay, if you are saying, okay, I want to work on a particular project, and people will say, most people that work on that don't really succeed in all those kind of false fallacies about stuff like that. Like it doesn't really work well in the community, it doesn't really work well in the society. But let's give it a try first. Let's debunk it, try the strategy, and let's see if it's work. Then role of mindset. This this role of mindset, it's let me say it can really affect individual and a group because if the mindset of an individual in a group is really low to the value of the group, there is no how it really affect the group, sorry, as well, in terms of their productivity. Once the mindset of of an individual in a group is low, it usually affect the group in terms of their growth and fixed mindset. Growth, it usually affects if the this kind of a group that everybody has this kind of active and proactive spirit, the growth of such group will never be down and their productivity level will be very high. And staying motivated, to me, most people we have, let me say, majority of us we have different way at which we are being motivated. So, but if we are being motivated in our right path, and I'm very sure there will be an effective and excessive working. Then the last one is dealing with setbacks. Dealing with setbacks usually helps very well, especially when people are saying, okay, you can't do this, you can't do that, but at least with your own mindset of, I mindset and skills, setbacks are always to me is being being preparing for another outcome or preparing for another output. And setback does not mean let me say setback does not really mean a low productivity. For example, if you are to work on a task or maybe you are given a target to follow and if there is a little setback or there's a little issue on that target or on the task that really causes you setback, the only thing you need to do is not to give up or not to have all these low mindsets or lose of motivation. The only thing is just to deal with it at that particular moment or find a way to deal with that setback so that it will help in your productivity level as well. And there is no how you deal with a setback. It will surely help you to improve better in terms of the productivity skills and the strategy skills. And then developing a personal productivity plan. For example, as we are all in a group, as an individual in the group, you must have your own personal productivity plan. Or else, if the productivity plan of an individual in a group is low and is weak, it will surely affect the whole group. So number one is assess current productivity. Once you assess your current productivity, how can you assess your current productivity? By looking at how your inputs, by measuring your inputs and outputs, your time management, the skills involved in assessing your own current productivity. Identify improvement area. Okay, which area do I need to improve? If it is communication aspect, I need to improve. If it is other task driven aspects, I need to improve. Identify your improvement area, set actionable step. For example, if you're this kind of person that I can do my tax at any time, the only thing that you can do that will not really affect your productivity in terms of setting action step is like, okay, let me create a full-time 3-4 hours for this task. Let me know that yes, once I'm done with this task, I am done with it. Then I can do the rest of what I want to do for the rest of the day. Then review and adjust. Sit down, maybe on the weekend, review the activities that you have done, review where you are lacking behind, review where you needed to amend or needed to come in, maybe as an individual or as a group, then try to adjust. But most especially, what is really happening in time, what really causes most of this low productivity is timing, time management. But if we all put enough time management to what we are doing, there is no how productivity will be very low. Then the case study, fishing out tasks for the days in 5 focus hours instead of dragging them out over 10 distraction hours. Just like I said, you cannot be gisting and be doing a task. There is no one or one will surely distract one or one will surely affect one. Then uh, the key lesson to this productivity is what me I will put as the key lesson and what I can tell everyone as the key lesson is let us know how to maximize and minimize our time in terms of time management because there is no how organization is big or small. There once we there is this stepping of lack of time management, this really brings in low productivity. Once we manage our time well, we manage the way how tax is being done, manage the strategy in terms of timing, manage the output and the input, scale ourselves on the time management, everything will surely work well. And this brings to the end of my presentation. Thank you very much. I don't know if anyone have one or two questions to ask.